Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this fireside chat where we discuss the challenges faced by universities and educators in coping with changing curriculum, tech disruption, and industry relevance. I'm your moderator, Adinur Hamiza, and joining me today are our esteemed panelists, Professor M. Nazri, a futurist and AI specialist, and Patricia D'Souza Bonandini, a management consultant and a working mother. Welcome, Professor Nazri and Patricia. Let's dive
Thank you.
right into the discussion. Professor Nazri, the first challenge we have on our list is curriculum adaptation. How do you see universities and educators updating their curriculum to keep pace with rapidly evolving industries and emerging technologies? Professor.
Thank you, Miza. Briefly speaking, universities and educators can update their curriculum in various ways. For instance, incorporating courses on AI, especially AI for non-AI personnel, data science programs across faculties and across disciplines, as well as cybersecurity for those people who have to deal with data, including issues on topics on ethics, right, and code of conduct. So in this way, you will be able to update their curriculum in various ways, right? And they should also introduce interdisciplinary programs that bridge traditional subjects with emerging fields like sustainable energy, digital marketing, and biotech. So we have seen various universities all over the world, from US to China, incorporating very traditional topics with very digital focus topics. So they make it very innovative, very relatable, very understandable, and very much in demand by the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Absolutely, Professor Nazri. Now, Patricia, let's move on to the next challenge faculty development and training. How can educators be equipped with necessary knowledge and skills to effectively teach new technologies and subjects? Patricia.
Thank you, Misa. To equip educators with the necessary knowledge, I would consider the following strategies. One would be to, do professional development workshops and focus on the emerging teaching methodologies and innovative technologies. I'd encourage educators to collaborate with peers, attend conferences, and participate in professional communities to share knowledge and learn from one another. Also, by establishing partnerships with industry experts for guest lectures, industry visits, we've got mentorship programs to provide educators with the practical insights into real-world applications. We'd also, encourage them to utilize online platforms and courses to allow them to access a wide range of resources and provide continuous support, to the access of educational materials, online communities, and webinars. So by implementing these strategies, they can enhance their teaching practices. Thank you.
Great insights, Patricia. Our next challenge revolves around infrastructure and technology integration. Professor Nazri, now this question is posed to you. How can universities invest in advanced technology infrastructure to support new teaching methodologies and online learning?
Okay, anything to do with infrastructure and technology integration basically involve capital expenditure, or CapEx for short. So as we know, some universities, in fact, most universities will have some constraints in how budget or expenditure relating to IT upgrades could entail. So, but that's being said, I think they should work closely with the industry to build what you call high-speed internet connectivity across campuses, either through sponsorship or subsidies from the government, or some form of fundraising to ensure that they are up to speed, literally up to speed in terms of connectivity, and ensuring that students can have reliable access to online resources and remote learning platforms. This may be a challenge for universities in developing nations, but certainly we have to progress, and there has to be a roadmap with specific timeline and milestones to get to that goal. And of course, when it comes to equipment and software, you got to update yourself with state-of-the-art equipment and software for virtual labs, simulations, remote collaboration, and enabling students to gain practical experience even from a distance. So these are what you call very two fundamental or yet basic requirements for universities to ensure that they are up to speed, not necessarily advanced technology infrastructure, but the base level infrastructure that create that foundation to support new teaching methodologies as well as online learning. A case in point would be a collaboration that we have with an institute in India called Sudarata Group of Institutes, where we've collectively set up what you call a center for AI innovation, where there are labs, there are softwares, there are classrooms equipped with the latest software, for example, to equip about 120, 140 capacity of students being able to learn AI for non-AI aspects in the classroom as well as offline. So offline in the sense that off classroom, but online through virtual learning. So this is an example of how institutes of higher learning can basically ensure that, number one, you don't have to have so advanced technology, but basic classroom, latest software, base basic but most updated equipment that does not stop halfway or have a lot of trouble accessing the internet. Yet at the same time, there are good quality contents that is supported by such infrastructure. I think when we learn AI or when we learn digital strategies, it doesn't have to be complicated. It has to be made simple. It has to be made practical. It has to be made inexpensive, right? At the same time, get support from the industries and government grants to ensure that you have adequate backing when it comes to rolling out such plans and initiatives. Thank you.
Well said, Professor Nazri. Next, Patricia, let's talk about industry collaboration and partnerships. How can universities build strong relationships with industry leaders to ensure curriculum relevance and gain insights into current trends?
Thank you, Misa. Universities should foster collaboration because they need to build those strong relationships with the industry leaders. And they can do this by inviting industry professionals to deliver guest lectures and conduct workshops. They can provide students with real-world insights and exposure to current trends, and also by establishing advisory boards comprising of industry leaders who can provide that guidance and inputs on their curriculum development, ensuring that they align with the industry needs and trends. It's really important to be for universities to do this so that they can gain that valuable insights and just foster those strong relationships and benefit both the students and the university.
Thank you, Patricia. Indeed, student engagement and career readiness are critical factors. Now, how can university enhance career counseling and incorporate practical experiences into the curriculum?
Expanding career counseling services to provide personalized guidance and support in different career paths and industries would entail things like interview skills, job search strategies, resume writing, offering students internship programs and cooperative education. You can also include them on project-based learning opportunities that allow students to apply their knowledge in real-world settings, because this is what they need. And they can then develop that industry-specific skill. Project-based learning incorporates this into the curriculum, and assigning projects that simulate these challenges and require collaboration with problem-solving and critical thinking skills is really important. You can also, engage alumni as guest speakers, mentors, or work facilitators to provide insights into their career journeys. And all this is very important. These initiatives bridge the gap between academia and the professional world, and it enhances students' employability and career readiness. Thank you.
Other great insights and valuable information that you have shared, especially from your perspective. Now, let's briefly touch upon the remaining challenges, evaluation and assessment methods, ethical and social implications of technology, and financial constraints. Professor Nazri, now, what are your thoughts on these challenges?
Yeah, it is definitely a complex question there because different universities face different levels of complexities, different levels of challenges, and different level of structural issues, right? When it comes to some of these points. But having said that, in general, evaluation and assessment methods can be improved in three ways. Number one is that you have to incorporate practical assessments that measure students' problem solving skills and critical thinking abilities rather than relying solely on traditional exams. So it means putting more weightage on the ability to solve problems on the spot and the ability to come out with critical thinking skills on the spot based on real life situation. I think that's the true test of how somebody learns and somebody applies that learning skills onto real situations. Second is to encourage students to reflect on the ethical implications of technology and fostering discussions, right? So gather them around, get them to critique, get them to explore the pros and cons, get them to talk about the implications of technology on on the industries, on the business, on the individuals, on the society, right? And then get them to showcase their skills beyond conventional exams, right? So this is how you can also link the interdisciplinary projects and make them collaborate and apply their skill and knowledge in real world context. Now, regarding the ethical and social implications of technology, I would like to add a few things, right? We believe that educational institutions should do a few things. Number one is to integrate ethics courses and modules into their curricula, enabling students to critically analyze the impact of technology, as I mentioned earlier, on society, and develop that sense of responsibility in how you use it, right? And always encourage, because ethics is not something you can do a Q&A or MCQ upon, right? You have to foster discussions, you have to get into debates, you get into simulations, meetings, right? You can simulate committees, you can simulate presentations, you can simulate AGMs, and allowing students to act beyond their age, right? To explore different perspectives, guided by mentors, and develop their own ethical framework. Now, we understand that, like as I mentioned earlier, educational institutions, whether it's CAPEX or OPEX, there will always be financial constraints, right? There's always be budget constraints. So, as I mentioned earlier, they should seek partnerships with industry organizations and government agencies to secure funding for research, infrastructure development, scholarships, and ensuring that financial barriers do not limit access to quality education. Now, explore innovative funding models. Don't just look at what you call the traditional way of fundraising, get people to fund events, boring, get people to fund a magazine, boring, right? But think innovatively through models like income share agreements or microloans to support students from disadvantaged backgrounds, enabling them to pursue higher education and acquire the skills necessary for future workforce. So the universities can think about various form of fundraising campaigns, various forms of fundraising structures beyond the traditional ways to basically use it for bursaries and scholarship, right? So at the end of the day, it's essential for educational institutions to continuously adapt their approaches and address these challenges proactively to make sure that graduates are prepared for the future workforce. By embracing innovation, fostering interdisciplinary collaboration, and incorporating ethics and social responsibility into the curricula, the universities can certainly create a workforce that is not only technically proficient, but also equipped to navigate the ethical and societal dimensions of emerging technologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. There you have it. Great insights from both speakers, and thank you both for your perspective.
Thank
Now
you.
we've covered a wide range. Thank you. Now we've covered a wide range of challenges faced by universities and educators in adapting to the changing landscape. It is clear that proactive measures, collaboration, and staying attuned to industry needs are vital for ensuring education remains relevant and equips students with the necessary skills for success. As our fireside chat comes to a close, I want to express my gratitude to both our panelists, Professor M. Nazri and Patrizia Bonadini, for sharing their expertise and insights. Thank you all for joining us today, and let's continue this conversation, the future of education and its challenges. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.